Thank you very much indeed for watching. This is exclusive content from the 2017 World Retail Congress in Dubai, where I caught up with Anan Fakhreddin. Let's hear what Anan has to say. Well, thanks very much indeed. I'm with Anan Fakhreddin, who's the CEO of Damas Jewellery. First of all, explain to us a little bit for those around the world who don't know too much about your retail chain. Explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, we are the biggest jewelry retail chain in the Middle East. Currently, we operate 243 branches around the 6 Arab Gulf countries. Our home office is in Dubai, so that's why we're here today, obviously. Mostly in the UAE, 142 of our shops are located in the United Arab Emirates, but obviously with strong presence in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain and Oman.
And are most of those stores standalone or in shopping malls?
Most of them are in shopping malls. I mean, it varies a little bit in some other markets. So in some other markets, depending on the market strategy, we have a mix of both. But within the UAE itself, we have two segments of shops. We have our Damas boutique segment, which caters for the upper middle segment and the high end, which is mostly in the key shopping malls in the region, so the likes of Dubai Mall, Mall of the Emirates, and so on and so forth. And we have the Damas Collections store, which can be found in gold trading areas like the Gold Souk, Mina Bazaar, and similar areas.
Now, you participated in the keynote panel this morning. One of the things I found really intriguing was the thought you talked about was this notion of maybe 5-10 years ago the only place you could go to buy a high quality piece of jewellery was a physical retailer, probably around the region maybe 2 or 3 individual retail brands to go to. Today you can go anywhere. How has that impacted your business and how do you view the future?
Obviously, we had to take that into consideration, repositioning our brand, which we did in Q3 of 2013. So we understand that there are lots of products today where the product differentiation is very little. These segments are highly commoditized, and we had to do a lot more to defend our premiums over there. It is not a surprise to anybody today in the shops to have someone quoting Blue Nile in the US on a certain diamond, for instance. That's something that happens all the time. So what we do now is through extra services that we offer in terms of product warranty, in terms of free service, and in terms of the journey itself that we offer to customers, we try to compensate for the price difference and maintain our clientele. But yes, we do acknowledge that as a fact. And that's why if you look at Damas from a strategic perspective, most of our attention is given to our own in-house creations, because that is where you can really offer increased value to the customer, but at the same time, through the differentiated product, maintain your premiums.
That's interesting, because we're seeing that theme, it's only the first day of the World Retail Congress here in Dubai, but we're seeing that theme played out pretty much in every single session, right across the spectrum of sort of mass commodity products to, in your case, very high-end products. About the future is one's own creations, one's own brands, exclusivity, and having control over the supply chain.
Totally agree, and I think this is a business requirement today for anybody who wants to survive. If you think about it, world consumption of branded goods was almost nothing 20 years back. People like us consumed very little brands 15, 20 years ago. Today, almost everything we consume is branded. I think the jewelry business was lucky enough or fortunate enough not being on the top of the list when it comes to that, making that conversion from generic, commoditized into branded. But I think eventually we will get there. This is what I personally believe in. This is a key part of the strategy I deploy when it comes to managing Damas. I believe the future is in branded goods. I believe people want products that are unique, people that tell stories, and products and journeys that are relevant and engaging to them. Right. And that's where branding kicks in.
And what implications does that have for your corporate strategy, development strategy, your resources you put into design, the resources you put into creating unique store experiences. If you are trying to take the market from being commoditized to, in a sense, to being branded led.
If you look at how we do business today, to answer your question, versus let's say 5 or 6 years ago, today the emphasis is on the design itself. The priority is given to having a differentiated product instead of simply price. So Damas or most of other retailers probably until today, 10, 15 years back, the selection between supplier A and supplier B depended mostly on the pricing and the margins that were offered to Damas. Today that is still there obviously, but the real determining factor here today is the quality of the product, the differentiation in the design, and our ownership on the design. So that's already affecting our business. Another key area is the access to data and know-how. So we've revamped the whole business. The whole digital backbone of Damas was totally revamped in 2012. That was a huge investment in terms of money and resources to allow us to keep an eye on the trends, recognizing trends, understanding consumer trends, and building the product proposition in a way that meets the trends and the expectations of customers. So it has a lot of implications on the business from multiple angles.
You don't really view the jewellery business to be a digital business. Explain what investments you've made in digital and how it's transforming your outlook.
We've just revamped our website. I think 4 or 5 months back, phase 3 was concluded. Immediately after that, we started our e-commerce. But as I said, until now, because I think the culture here needs a little bit more time to make the shift towards e-commerce and online. So we're using it now as obviously for communication, but mostly for engagement and lead generation. So people access the products. If they have inquiries, they can have a live chat with our team. They can make an inquiry officially online. So it's more or less lead generation and presence within the digital sphere. But we are very hopeful that soon this will develop and evolve into something that is more complicated and more impactful when it comes to sales. And that's why we've just signed up with noon.com, which hopefully will launch in the coming few weeks. It's the official announcement is that it's going to host more than 20 million products on its platform. So a Damas virtual shop will be part of the noon.com product.
It's a very exciting development.
Of course,
Look forward to seeing that when it's launched. The world's getting a smaller place. One of the nice things about jewellery is it's pretty ubiquitous right across the world. What plans do you have for expanding the group around the world to become a global brand as well as a big regional brand that you are now?
Well, that's part of our vision. Our vision, which was realigned in 2013, was to change Damas from a famous jewellery brand in Dubai to a famous international jewellery brand from Dubai. So expansion is there. It's a core part of our strategy. We believe we have full penetration of the region and we have to look for opportunities outside, keeping in mind that there are lots of factors within the business that are encouraging for us to do so. For instance, the fact that we cater or we look after 168 nationalities on an annual basis in Dubai itself. So we know the Russian taste, we know the American taste, we know the European taste, we cater for them, we look after them, and we have full exposure to the product offering that is required to look after them. So we started on the first route was an acquisition, and I have to say it wasn't very fruitful. So we've been looking for the last 4 years. We've received prospectuses on targets, let's say in the Far East, China, and the Far East, also in the US and Canada. We had some stuff coming to us. Unfortunately, none of them met the criteria it wasn't an investment grade opportunity for Damas. We're still looking, but I think part of me thinks that a more controllable approach to this is organic growth. So we have our eyes now fixed on a couple of markets around us, mostly hopefully India in the coming couple of years, where we can launch Damas there instead of making an acquisition, organically grow the business over there, hoping that the acquisition will still happen at some point in the future.
Well, before we finish, one final question. You talked a little bit about, in a sense, the brand being seen as coming from Dubai. Country brands are becoming more and more important. What value sets do you think Dubai gives a business in terms of its country of origin?
Of course, Dubai is in the heart of the brand. Actually, if you look at the DNA of Damas as a brand, I think, as I keep saying, the success story of Damas reflects, in a way, the success story of Dubai. So Damas was born in the UAE. It grew with Dubai, and today we are where we are partially because of the success story of Dubai. Dubai is all about innovation. Damas is all about innovation. Today, one of the four core values of Damas is innovation, and I think the culture in Dubai promoted that. The way the brand behaves, how open-minded we are, how multicultural we are, again, reflects the values of the country. I think Dubai managed to establish itself as a brand globally. Today, wherever you go, from the taxi driver that takes you from JFK to your hotel in New York, same story in, let's say, in a good restaurant in Japan, everybody knows Dubai. Everybody, more importantly, knows what Dubai stands for. Newness, great level of service, happy living. All of these values we appreciate, we take them into consideration in everything we do.
Well, Anan, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for watching. This is just one of the interviews that we conducted at the World Retail Congress 2017 in Dubai, where we broadcast every night with an hours-long program. In order to see any of those programs or to watch any of the other interviews, just go to this website here. My name's David Roth from WPP. Thank you very much indeed for watching.